What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Evan, your boy Will. We are back under the Tiki Hut after this long championship series from both the NHL, the NBA. Really, everyone I think got what they asked for. Obviously, some Pacer Yes Sir fans probably didn't ask for what happened last night, but at least they got put to Game 7, so we haven't had one of those since Nam.
2016. Yeah.
So it's like, one of those things where it's like, we haven't had one of those in forever, and it was good to, see it. Like, it just sucks the way it did go, but congrats to all the Thunder fans out there, and, not to say you guys didn't deserve it, not to say you guys didn't work hard for it, but injuries are a part of the game. Like, I saw all of X and everything, and look how the Thunder made it. They showed the Steph, Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, all the injuries that happen along the way. But it's like, that's part of the game. So, like, can you really be, like, I don't want to say mad at OKC, but can you really fault OKC for other players' injuries? It's not like somebody...
The Ja one was stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Ja one was stupid.
But see, the other one's like the Steph hamstring and
they didn't even play the Warriors.
Yeah, the Tyrese...
there's no guarantee that the Wolves won the one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to say that you would have seen those players.
And
or
Tyrese has been dealing with that injury
for 3 games.
Right, and then in Game 5, Game 5, when you saw that video of his calf, like, it almost looked there, like,
right,
like 2 more pounds of pressure away from.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want to say it's an epidemic with regards to the Achilles and calf strain and stuff like that, but there is something in the water with regards to why this is happening so much more often. The Achilles tendon is recognized as obviously like a detrimental, like, career ender. Like, you tear it, you're basically done. But it's like, luckily enough to say,
thinking about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like one of those things where I'm just like, why is this becoming such an epidemic towards an injury? Like, the Aaron Rodgers, I feel like, truly first started, and then, like, how many other players?
I forget at which player. It was one of the linemen, I think, defensive linemen.
Aiden Hutchinson.
The Super Bowl, not the Niners.
Not Bosa.
Nah.
Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Greenlaw. He didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Literally didn't even. He was just getting ready, getting hyped up to go back on the field.
That's the thing, though. You step the wrong way, or you put too much pressure down at once.
No, it's
the wrong way, and that's it.
It's just crazy.
Isn't that why we call it an Achilles tendon?
Yeah,
because it's like your weak spot.
Yeah,
like,
it's everyone's weak spot. It's literally one of the most world-renowned mythologies of ancient, dominator.
Yeah.
And he legitimately had one weakness.
Yeah.
And that's the story. So
it's very sad. Like,
and especially in that matter, like in that moment, like we were just talking about how he had 9 points in 7 minutes.
Talking his shit.
Yeah, like he was literally calling SGA out, like, it just, you hurt. You're most so hurt because it's him, like such a good guy. Like, if it would have been like an asshole player or like somebody that you didn't really, care for.
Sympathy.
Yeah, less sympathy. But I think the entire basketball world was like, wow, like that one hurt. Like, this was not what we expected. This is not what anybody wanted.
Yeah,
we wanted to see the Yesers and the Thunder go to the last 10 seconds of every game that we've had.
Right.
Excuse me. And see who earns it, see who really gets it. So, oh man. But again, congrats to the Thunder. Congrats to the Pacers for making it. There's no participation trophies.
Right. But,
excuse me.
Yeah, it's sad the way that it happened. Especially as a fan, it's not what I wanted. I don't. We can sit here and go back and forth as to how different the game would be. The way that I always think of it, if it's injuries or something, it's like, I understand that Halliburton really opens the floor for them. You gotta obviously
He's a threat.
Play up on him, like, his 3-point shooting ability, as well as his ability to pass, which is really what his primary strong suit is, I'd say.
He's a facilitator for sure.
But then it's like, okay, if he's on the floor, then Nembhard gets less minutes, McConnell gets less minutes, so it's like, what would the outcome have been?
Well,
maybe Siakam gets going a little bit more, or
Toppin had a terrible game. He even came out and said he was like, I was
Right.
just so emotionally drained.
I think
from the injury.
I think other players get more involved if he stays on the court, but it's also they had 24 turnovers.
Yeah, I mean that was on them. I mean T.J. McConnell had like 6 of his own the first like 15 minutes he was in the game.
Right.
So.
And then,
but again, we're saying
there was a real chance. Yeah,
does Tyrese still make those many turnovers instead of TJ?
Right.
Is TJ that tired versus coming off the bench and not playing as many minutes? There's just a lot of factors, and we'll never know, obviously. But
going back and forth, we can sit here all day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really to the extent where it's like the Thunder, did what they had to do. They didn't lose.
And the Pacers, realistically speaking, can get back to this spot next year without Halliburton, I think, or close to it. Like,
I don't know.
If they can get him back in the playoffs next year, I mean, maybe
look how
it's wishful
deep we
thinking.
are.
I don't know.
No, I mean, but
how deep we are into June.
Yeah.
Okay, what? It's a full
10 months.
year, right?
Say you get him back
start in April, sure. Wishful thinking, but they'll definitely make the playoffs next year.
I don't know.
Nah, they definitely will. There's no way. If they keep that band together, they're definitely.
We'll see. I mean, again, at this point, I'm looking at it.
It's not that detrimental. They were on First Take this morning talking about how they can win without him.
I don't think so.
I don't think they will.
I don't believe. I think First Take is wrong on that one. I don't think they can't make the playoffs.
No,
I just don't see them being the same team. Like, I think if they make the playoffs, if they go, say they're 6 or 7 seed, I don't think they make it out of the first round. Like, I mean, that's my perspective on, how important Tyrese is to this team. Because, again, you're talking about your floor general. Not to say he's your sniper or your, the guy that you need to score points, but he's the guy that runs he's your captain. He's the guy that runs your floor. So
absolutely.
I don't know what First Take is saying about winning without him. They could definitely win. I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying I don't see them making the same run that they had this year. So
I think there's any chance for the Thunder to go back to back?
No. Not to say there isn't, but who's free agents for you guys after this season? Anybody? So why not? I mean, the biggest thing will be, who gets better in the West to stop them.
Yeah, and who gets better on the Thunder? Because even last night they had me. I was getting pissed. Like in that fourth quarter, the offense went flat. That's the thing, we spoke about this before. The Thunder have to make shots to. It sounds stupid, but it's true. The Thunder offense goes flat, and the defense helps keep them in it. But you got to turn that defense into offense. So there's two sides of the basketball game. Like you can play defense.
There was a lot of turnovers for game 7. I'm not gonna lie.
You gotta make some shots. The Thunder had less than 10. I know that. I don't know the exact number. But
yeah.
Less than 10. They didn't have a single turnover until the third
quarter.
I believe.
First quarter they didn't have. They had 0.
Maybe they had
first half they had 0.
Yeah, I know the fourth they were starting to turn it over. Shea didn't have a turnover until that fourth quarter. He threw it away on a double team. But it was just. It gets so sad to watch them sometimes, and that's I guess where the inexperience and
the youngness
comes into play.
Agreed. I mean but see that'll be good because that's something where as a coaching staff you can go back on film and be like, look at this, look at how we played here. Look at we were up 12 and then we were only up 6 in 2 minutes span. Like we can't have that in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's teachable moments. It's stuff where you can go back and watch film. Even though you won a championship, it's stuff you can work on. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's frustrating at the time, but it's stuff you can go back as a coach and and go on film and be like, look, we gave them 4 turnovers in 1 quarter, and look how close they came back. Imagine if we didn't give them any, stuff like that. So I think again, like you said, the youngness, the age, maturity side of it can definitely. Maybe you do bring in a vet.
I would love to see them bring in one more.
Yeah, I mean,
love to see.
So
I don't know who it would be. I'd like to see probably someone that's so I'd like to see a big man. Really, I'd like to see a veteran big man come in.
That big?
Yeah. I'm looking
like
at
a
someone
4, like a 4 big, or like a true big, like a 5 big.
Probably like a 4. Like it could be like a 4-5.
Yeah.
It could be like a 4
Like a
5.
tweener?
Maybe not a true big, but because the guards have Caruso, even though he guards the forward position a lot.
Yeah, he does. But he's also just a big
forward,
guard
yeah.
in general. So he's like that small.
I'd like to see
small
one
forward.
one more veteran addition.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, you've got plenty of opportunity. You got a draft pick this year too because the Heat got swept. So, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
true.
we can talk. Speaking of trades and draft picks,
Sure.
draft is on Wednesday,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see where some of these teams end up going. Like, well, I mean, that's
Draft's over.
the drafts. That legitimately is the topic of conversation is how quickly into the draft does Cooper Flag go? Like, is it the first 30 seconds, or do they take the 10 minutes that they give each team to freaking we only had drag it out because they need to get their commercial and airtime in. Like, I hate when NBA and TV does that. Like, we already knew 3 months ago who was like once we got it, and we already knew who was going first like a year ago. So do we really have to push the issue? I think after Cooper Flag though, it's just kind of a toss up.
The Dylan Harper is going number 2. This is like the consensus from ESPN. Dylan Harper number 2, 10 votes. VJ Edgecombe falls to 3 or 4.
I love
He's
VJ.
from Oklahoma.
Baylor. I love
Trey Johnson number 5. And then it looks like
the Heat doesn't have a first pick now because of the OKC.
Right.
That's so
It wasn't a lottery pick anyway.
It was 8th or 13th.
No, the Hawks have let me see. Hold on. Houston, Sacramento. No, it wasn't even inside the 14. Top 14, no.
Maybe that
because it says from Houston. 10's Phoenix from Houston, 13's Atlanta from Sacramento, 14 San Antonio from Atlanta. So it had to be outside the top 14.
Okay.
And then Derek Queen. I like Derek Queen out of Maryland.
I know, but I don't see. So for me, with Queen is he was a good college player in the system that he was in. I don't know if that transitions to the league.
I don't like him. They have him going to the Raptors. He's like a very I don't want to say Scotty Barnes-esque. I feel like the Raptors don't need. I feel like the Raptors don't need somebody like Derek Queen. That's the thing.
They have
Brandon Ingram?
No, what I was gonna say is they have Scotty as their point guard.
Yeah.
So it's like Queen. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, when I look at Queen, I loved him in college and what he could do in college. I just don't know if that game transitions to the NBA level because everyone at his position is athletic and as strong and as big as he is. So it's not like when he was in Maryland, there was 5 games I watched him, and he was just a bigger guy, so he could go down to the post. He was more athletic.
Reminds you of Kenny Lofton from the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. Yeah,
he's been back and forth. But
and now he's over in China. He's in China. Yeah, he's in China. He's playing for the
a bigger guard. He was good though.
I loved him at
he
LT.
Was getting his, but
Louisiana Tech. He was LA Tech. He was probably one of my favorite players just to watch him produce in college. But again, I don't know if that game transitions to the league, and I think that's a whole nother conversation of where do these players who are learning these skill sets at that size, when they get to the league, where does it become useful? Because you don't use it anymore. So you're good at certain things, but you could be great at other stuff that your position does.
Right.
So maybe if you would have practiced a little bit more on the pick and roll, you didn't have to ISO so much. You didn't have to go get your own buckets. Maybe you could have been able to roll harder, find a better way to, just certain things that you could get better. So, no knock on Queen at all. I think he's a great player. I think if he can fit into a system or find a system where he benefits from being a facilitator and, being able to kind of stretch the floor for himself, and he's a big dude. Yeah. So it's how much space can you team? How much, they were showing up Houston's lineup. The smallest guy is 6'7" on the court, and they're starting 5. That's a huge lineup, even in the NBA. I don't care that is a huge lineup. So it's not muscular huge, but it's just long and rangy. So it's to see where, we just talked about, where the draft is. I don't know. I mean, Miami didn't even want to give up some of their unproven rookies, young guys, for Kevin Durant. That's a hard pill for me to swallow Because it's not like I have faith, obviously, in Riley. Like I've always. I mean, UD comes on a bunch of podcasts and talks about the Heat culture and stuff like that.
I think
and it's a real
They
thing.
should have done it. It would have shook up the league, and
It would have shattered a lot of. It would have
put
shattered
the
a lot of.
Heat
Yeah.
At the top of the East, I'm not mad.
No, I just don't
that
know what
the West,
Houston.
like,
I don't know
yeah,
if that really benefited Houston, like other than ticket sales. Because like I look at that Houston
no,
roster,
You're right. You're definitely right.
and I don't
Definitely
really look at Houston now as being like a threat to. It's like I don't look at Houston and be like, oh damn, Thunder are screwed now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. That's not what I look at. Like I don't really see
and it
that.
goes back to the conversation. This is not to like knock Kevin Durant, but it's like you look at his moves over the course of his career, and I don't know if he has said this himself or whatever, but I know other people have and speculation. But like, is he a true leader? Like, does he really want? Does he understand? I mean, I'm sure he does, but does he understand that he's going into a young locker room where he's pretty much? I'm pretty sure he's going to be the oldest guy in the locker room. Like,
Jeff Green is his former teammate. I think
like,
he's older.
Does he wanna? Does he want to be that guy and do all that? Like, is that what it is for him? Is he just trying to ball and chill now, or is he really trying to go after a ring? I'm not saying that he can't, and this wasn't like a regress, but I think the opportunity of him being back in the East with the Heat, going for that championship coming out of the East, really giving like teams like Boston, New York, Indiana a run for their money come next year.
I'm just so.
The West is still stacked, and now he's gonna have to mesh and lead a group of young.
It's just so honestly,
I don't know. That's just how I see it.
Again,
as you look, he joined the Warriors. Like, people still call it a cheap move.
I mean, I never really cared about that. Like LeBron did the same thing, and I don't know what anyone talks like. Why we digress and talk
I think it's because the Warriors were coming off the best season of their history.
Yeah, but even still, what does it matter if you're going to the championship? LeBron was going to have the best seasons ever with them, with the Dwayne and Bosh. It didn't matter if it was the year before, Shaq left. Like, it was kind of one of those things where like we knew it was going to happen once it happened. Like,
right.
we knew the Heat were going to win championships. It was just a matter of how many for how long. And it's kind of like Kevin Durant. As soon as he went to the Warriors, it's like, how quickly do they win a championship? Is it this year? Is it next year? Is it the year after? You know what I'm saying?
Almost right around.
So that's what I'm saying. So again, for me, I don't know why people knock on KD so hard on that.
How good the Warriors were.
Right, and I get that, but it's like you didn't, but like you did. Or else, can you really say you would have won those championships?
No.
Exactly. So it's like you did need him, but I understand what people's logic is because they did it before him. So, but again, it's like you're saying with OKC. Do they have a chance to repeat? Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, if everyone's coming back and they add some roster, everyone gets better. Sure. What's the reason to not repeat? It's somebody else beating you. That's the only reason. So until that happens, you guys are the champ until this time next year.
Right.
So it's kind of. But even more on the trade talk, like KD. Going for a few people and a couple, 2 draft picks or whatever it was, like
they got the 10th pick.
Yep, 10th pick this year,
and then 5 second-round picks or something like that.
Something like that, and
Dylan Brooks
and Jalen Green. And I don't even look at. I mean, honestly, if I'm Dylan Brooks, I'm beating my horn because I'm getting traded for KD and like. I don't know. I ain't gonna say nothing, but let's just say Dylan Brooks. And I can see Jalen Green because he's young and he's got a lot of upside to him.
Yeah.
But like we're saying, KD's getting traded for Dylan Brooks, and a bunch. I don't know. I mean, it's
Dylan Brooks.
I mean, I think. But I mean, and then you look at the Luka trade and then we go back and now I think the biggest shock of the trades has been Desmond Bane trade. I don't get that.
Just boosting the market.
They're ruining the market. Not boosting it, ruining.
That's an extreme overpay.
Dude, I just don't get it. Like Desmond Bane, I watched him work out down here during his draft. I've seen him
He's not a bad player.
No. He's not bad. It's not
second,
bad.
Third option on the Grizzlies.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Triple
J and Ja, and then you got Desmond. And that's not to say it's not a good big three.
I think the Grizzlies should blow it up. Maybe not. Maybe that's a hot take.
I don't know. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, I guess my biggest thing is blow it up in the sense of what? Trading Triple J? getting rid of Ja.
Yeah, both.
Woo.
Send them.
Where are we
I don't
sending them? Because you ain't getting nothing for
right.
you ain't getting Cooper Flag. So
Yeah.
it would be different if you blew it up in that way. And do the draft.
Yeah,
Do the
Ja
do no no. Do it like the
Jared
draft
Jackson.
day. Yeah. Do it like the draft day. I want all my picks back, and I want Putney.
That's
you
wild.
know, just
Wild.
just do the Mavericks. Just trade everyone for
Oh
Ja
my
and
gosh.
Triple J.
But yeah,
You get Triple J, AD, and Ja, and Kyrie.
Those two guys play.
You can play 4-on-5 and probably be alright. Like
Yeah.
that could
I
be. You
don't
could just
know.
throw in. You could just throw in. You call back. Who was over there for a while with the Mavs? Oh my God, I'm thinking.
From a while ago?
No, like a couple years ago. Who's on the Pistons now? He used to be in Orlando all the time. Oh my God, not Penny Hardaway's son. Oh my God, it's gonna kill me. It's somebody's son, but he used to be with the.
Keelan Hayes?
No, he used to be with the Mavs. He was with Pistons now. Oh my God, Tim Hardaway.
Oh, it is Tim.
Ti-
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Tim
Oh,
Hardaway.
my. Okay.
Timmy,
yeah, yeah.
Timmy.
Tim.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
You bring Timmy back and let them run the three guards, and you got Triple J and AD down at the bottom. That could be
Like
crazy.
I was saying though, it's
That could be
like
crazy.
the trade market can't like do that. Like,
Hey, give it up to his agent though.
yeah,
I mean, good on him.
yeah.
I mean, what? I mean,
Good for the Grizzlies front office too. It was like they probably were like,
nah, they're
okay.
cooking now.
Yeah.
Now, because now you don't have to explode. Now you don't have to.
Probably
you don't have to blow it
not.
up.
You
'Cause
might
you
not
can go,
have a great season next year, but you still
you go,
can use
but you
the
could
picks,
build
you
it
know,
quickly.
right,
You could
right.
build very quickly with that amount of trade options and that amount of opportunity to, say, hey, Josh coming back healthy, Triple J's finally
4
growing.
first-round picks.
That's what I'm saying. Look what you got on the table now. Like, there's so much leverage for Memphis to do what they got to do. So really,
I don't know how much better it made Orlando either.
I don't think it really did. I mean, you already had some good guards. I mean,
Yeah,
I love Cole Anthony.
they didn't.
I know, obviously.
My good friend is a Magic fan. He didn't like him. So he just, what has it been now? 4 years of Cole Anthony?
Is it 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it might be, yeah, because he came out of UNC, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at UCF, he showed up to a game like right after he got drafted.
Yep, because he got, he went
So it must have been like 2021.
Yeah.
They weren't doing.
nope,
Yeah,
that was,
COVID
that's,
and all that shit,
yeah,
They were still
Yep.
on dick about that.
I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. Bane, I mean, kudos to his agent for getting that deal done, because,
Is that really an agent thing or is it
But I mean,
front
like-
office thing?
I mean, yes, but, like, your agent, I mean, you paid Bane all that money, so I'm guessing there was,
Oh right.
I wouldn't say a no trade clause, but, like, I'm sure you weren't planning on, if you're the Magic, if you're making that deal and he says, I don't want to play for the Magic, you got to go talk to the agent. Got to go make sure he's happy to come down here and play. But, I
Right.
mean, I guess at this point for Bane, I mean, I'm getting paid either way, so I might as well go down to Orlando, be in Florida. What's better, Memphis or Orlando? What's a better city?
You
to
heard
live
him
in?
talk about it. He was like, our gym in Memphis didn't even have windows.
yeah, I saw that.
No, the Magic do have a nice facility. Though. I think it's,
That too. I mean,
they
even
do
their
have a
G League
facility.
facility is nice as
They
hell.
used to host.
Yeah.
I miss when the summer league was like traveling like that. I know they still do the Utah one. I think. And
Yeah,
the
LA
San
one.
Francisco.
Yeah,
I think.
no, I think it's LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I liked when it was like Orlando,
Mhm.
and then I think it was still Utah,
Yeah,
and then
they
Vegas.
still do Utah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
but Vegas obviously is the
Mecca.
yeah
It's the Mecca of Summer League.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only place you can go at any point in your career.
So many basketball heads.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
one spot.
you name it. Even Shams and all them got their start there. Like Shams, I remember.
Didn't we see him?
Yeah, but I remember. I see, like it's funny because we say that, but like I remember Shams my first year as an agent.
When he was just Bleacher Report.
Yeah, Bleacher Report, and he was just running around trying to knock heads, say what's up to people, like just
Oh, is that
Yeah.
really?
yeah, like he was just doing what he had to do, like
Trying to,
yeah, just trying to make friends and do stuff, and trying to be on top of everything. So you watch hard work in person, then you see him now. He's the head of ESPN basketball.
He's
Like,
Woj.
yeah, new Woj, like good. I mean, they were trying to like merge like football guys into Woj's position, and it's like Woj was die-hard basketball. He didn't do anything but basketball. Like that's what you need, and you're ESPN. So you're telling me you can't find somebody that can do that. Come on now. So, but yeah, just
But
just
they
in,
did,
yeah.
so.
So just in general, with summer league, yeah, all the basketball. I mean, between walking past every young player, every vet that just wants to come see them,
And the
all the
old
GMs,
heads,
yeah,
like old trainers,
yeah,
coaches,
everyone. I mean,
everyone's someone.
yeah,
For
yeah,
the most
literally.
part,
Yeah,
unless, you know.
I mean, look at us just walking
Not
around the
fans,
hotel
right,
and stuff.
yeah.
Like when we go out there and at least
So
see.
Marcus Cousins,
Oh, dude.
Richard Jefferson shooting
Yeah,
dice,
dude.
the craps table.
Hey, what's up, Buggy?
Yeah, right.
Like as we walk by, that
Oh my
shit's so
gosh!
funny.
Oh my gosh!
Too classic.
So
Shout out my guy Bugs.
hockey,
Yep.
little lightning round. Not to
Yep.
Panthers though.
Dynasty.
Florida Dynasty.
Florida, hockey town, baby. Welcome to the
Yeah.
Sunshine State.
Elbow room.
Yep. Holler at your boys.
Oh
I mean,
my gosh.
at this point, Zito, you know, the GM, will go down as a legend in the hockey world. I mean, he was an agent too. And he literally took his agent role, knew how to go scout talent, how to build a team around it, how to fix the cap. That is the worst cap in all sports. Like hockey cap is awful. And, you know, again, build a team that he went out and Marchand, Bennett, Chuck, you know, these were not guys that Panthers drafted. Like they didn't build through the draft. They did it the agent way, I guess I would say, which is what the Knicks did too. The Knicks did it the agent because their GM was an agent too.
Right.
So it's like the agent side going into the GM role, I think has proven to be very successful.
Yeah.
And I think that's where even for me in the long term goal to be a GM would be the goal. You know, in like the 20-year career.
Right. I think
it's going to be crazy in 20 years how different the GM role will be. Especially look at we have GMs now in college. Crazy.
Right.
So.
I think that he also made good use of which a lot of, if you look back, a lot of championship winning teams recently in NHL history have done this. The long-term injured reserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how they were able to get Marchand in the
Yep.
first place.
Yep.
They put Kachuk on. Yeah, they put Kachuk on that long-term injured reserve.
Yep.
Brought in someone else, and then they were good for the playoffs. The
That's it.
Lightning did that. The Golden Knights did that.
Yep.
And look at them.
how
Both
you do
in both years
Both
they
years.
won.
Yeah.
They both won. I mean, the Lightning won 2, right?
Yeah. 2.
Golden Knights won 2 already.
They have
They're
1,
far
2. Yeah,
apart,
they're
yeah.
far. Yeah, they're
Far
split.
apart.
But yes,
What they won? They won in their first season.
First year.
That's
first
so
year, and then they
crazy.
beat the Panthers.
Right in
2 years ago.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
You think the Panthers go for 3?
So, I think Zito brought up a good point, like when he was talking about, you know, trying to keep everyone together, and it's just more of like, again, talking about the cap of the Panthers or in hockey in general. Will we be able to run it back with the same team like the OKC is? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking minor pieces will be missing and stuff you can build, but you'll have to take chances on a few guys in free agency.
Does
So
hockey have like they have like minor league hockey?
yeah,
right?
yeah, we have a G League team as
It's
well.
not the Solar Bears, is it?
No, it's that's
Lightning?
no,
Oh, really?
no, it's not even that's not oh man, what's the league called? Semi-pro or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I think
So
it's
it's
semi-pro.
okay. Yeah.
I think it's its own league, like
Got it.
Solar Bears. I forget how it's regulated, and I believe you can still scout that. It's like UFL, like it's a separate league.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say is the Panthers do have a minor league team. I forget the name of it. But yeah, you can build and grab guys off that. I believe it. I forget the rules of transferring guys in, but at this point, they do have some young guys on the roster that barely got to play. So maybe those guys, and because there were some numbers that came out, and I don't remember exactly, but when the young guys were on the ice, they were like plus 22 in a lot of those games, meaning like they were scoring plus 22 goal differentials and some of the young guys, ability. So
That's good.
That's good. So
It's time.
yeah. So we'll see how Zito kind of puts pieces of the puzzle together. Obviously, you're gonna probably end up losing somebody relative to a playmaker. I I don't want to say any names off the top because I really don't know on the cap side who's gonna be the hardest to keep.
No, yeah.
But obviously, you should be Marshawn and Bennett. Should be your two priorities. If you can create structure to make it everyone's happy with other guys, and take some hits. I don't. Cause I know sometimes, like in certain leagues, you can't take pay cuts and stuff like that because of the CBA rules. So, not quite sure. I'd have to read up on the CBA for hockey, but even still, like the ability to three-peat is there. And honestly, after watching the Oilers this time around, they've got their number. Florida's got their number. Like McDavid, like I love McDavid as a player, but like I think a lot of hockey podcasts and guys like that, like Ben Chicklets and all that, have all come out and said like he just won't win it with the Oilers. Yeah. Like he'll have to go somewhere, and that's again not a knock on him, but it might just
win.
Be exactly
He'll win it.
Exactly. So now it's where does McDavid go? How many pieces of the puzzle can Zito keep together to make the Panthers three-peat? Because at this point, they're still the team to beat. Until somebody pick something up, somebody grab somebody else, trade, whatever. Until that happens, the Panthers are going to be the team to beat again.
Do you think the Oilers had the best shot this past year?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was nobody else. If Dallas would have made it, it would have been a 4-1 win. Like I don't think Dallas even comes close because Oilers.
If the Leafs would have beaten the Panthers, the Oilers probably would have won it.
For sure. And Canada would have been in flames because it would have been two Canadian teams. So, but no, again, I agree with that 100%. If Toronto would have beat Florida,
do you think Carolina beats the Leafs? I don't. Not
if Toronto. If Toronto goes on the run to beat the Panthers, I don't see Carolina beating Toronto.
True.
Just at that point, if they had beaten,
it would have been the battle for Canada.
Right, literally. So 37-year drought come finally to an end, but they're gonna have to wait till 38. So
they would have just been celebrating anyway.
That's what I'm saying.
They won. They would have been.
Yeah, exactly.
in the
streets. But yeah, I mean, I think Zito's like, and I think I laugh because we talk about football and everything real quick. All the I'm doing my part, and it's like the Marlins have won multiple World Series, the Panthers have won multiple World Series, the Heat have won, and then it's like I do fucking shit, and it's the Dolphins, like come on,
not since '73.
That's what I'm saying, like
right?
I mean, well, yeah, but but again, even still, like 10 weeks away from football to start, or 10 Sundays away, I should say. But like. Obviously for football wise, I have no idea. Like after this, this season, I still don't really know. Is the Eagles still the team to beat? Like I guess. I mean, yeah. Like I don't.
They didn't really.
Nobody did anything. What did anybody do? Like what? Like why is everyone so scared to like blow it up?
Well, because I guess because the draft is so big in the NFL that like you don't want to blow it up because you might have drafted somebody that gives you that instant, like not instant, but like the pieces that you do draft. Like I look at the Giants, I know like I'm a Giants fan, it may be like biased or whatever. Like I can tell you like Giants drafted Jackson Dart, cool, and then they also obviously got Abdul Carter,
right,
and then Cam Scattaboo, who I also really like.
Cam.
So it's like we kind of needed
I was trying
a
to
running
sign
back.
Cam when I went out to Arizona State.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So he ended up going with Range Sports or something like that. I don't know. But anyways.
But like the Giants have sucked past couple. So they had that one good season, or 22, 21, something like that. But now it's like, okay, we have these 3 new additions, and rosters are so big, so you could trade.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
Or that's why teams don't want to, I guess, blow it up.
I don't know, because I look at it like, if you have not been good in a while and you do have draft picks, you can keep draft picks and still do trades and stuff. But like nobody trades like player for player. Like nobody really does that in the NFL. Whereas like we just saw in the NBA, 3 different trades like that. Multiple draft picks, player for player.
It's not as often.
Right.
And the last trade I look at, well, I mean, like, you player for player, Jared Goff for Matt Stafford.
And look how those two turned out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like a lot of the NFL teams are scared to do that for player because they get looked at as.
They might not. It's not as plug and play as something like the NBA is. So.
Agreed.
It's a whole playbook.
But if you, I mean, they have playbooks. I mean, in the NBA, they definitely have playbooks.
No, but not as intense.
Yeah, but see, like that's become like a coach. I feel like that's a little bit of overkill nowadays. I feel like coaching has really gotten to a point where like the Sean McVays of the world, like I don't know, they put it on such a. I mean, you're talking about playbooks that are like 6-inch binders, So it's like it's crazy to think that's just your offensive set. Like that is. I mean, and I always laugh at like there's always like discrepancies between an offensive playbook and then like a defensive playbook, and then we ask why has offense gone so complexity stuff like that? Because like on defense, you don't have to do much. Like you could sit back and wait for it sometimes. Like there's only so many gaps you can run in. There's only so many routes you can run against me.
Right. So
it's like if I've got all this done, why do I need to do this? So. But I mean, for football wise, I'm looking at it from like I guess you could say a GM's perspective. Dolphins, we haven't won dick really in the last 30 years. Before that,
not even a playoff.
Not even one playoff win, I think, in the last like 20 years. One, but again, do you? I don't want to say blow it up, but I guess you say. Make a impact. Maybe not draft. Maybe not trading away the future like in draft day, like we saw. Traded three first round pick, blah blah blah. Like obviously overkill on the 3 picks for the next Bo Callahan, but the concept is relatively what I would be thinking is maybe not draft picks, but trade players for players that you believe. Hey, look, we'll trade you this 2 for this guy and a draft pick. And, like, we just don't see that in the NFL. So, like, for me, I look at it like I think that should become a little bit more prevalent. Maybe not, it doesn't have to be the norm, but I would definitely like to see, like you just brought up the example of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. Who knows where we would be if Jared Goff did not go to the Lions? Look at the Lions. You're telling me that the Lions are not, foaming at the mouth to make another trade like that? But again, scared. Not the norm. It's hard to. You're putting your job on the line too.
Yeah.
Like that is. I think that's probably the biggest scare on the GM side is that you are putting your name on the line for something like that.
To not get fired by doing nothing than it is to do something.
Which is what kills me because like
get fired.
You can cut players for doing their job, and that guy who isn't doing his job gets to make that call. That kills me. So yeah, but yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, we'll talk more football.
Yeah, we got plenty of time for football. Probably take a little bit more in depth look at some other sports and some other things. We'll probably get a little bit more in depth on the agency side. Probably go over some agency stuff, NIL stuff. Now that the House versus NCAA has been confirmed for the ruling.
That's crazy, yeah.
So we'll get into that and we'll talk a little bit more. I'll have Will kind of get some questionnaires for me to answer to you guys. And, we'll kind of, since sports is kind of over, we'll dig into, a little bit more on the agent side, a little bit more onto the sports insider side and go from there. But thank you for joining us for another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, a.k.a. No Cap Podcast. Your boy Will, your boy Evan. We are out.